I got a comment about the glasses yesterday, wondering how come they all of a sudden made an appearance. Turns out my eye doctor is a big Panthers fan and ran across the video on YouTube and had his nurse send me a note that said, "Hey, I thought we talked about you wearing your glasses all the time when you're in front of a computer screen." So I'm doing better. I'm trying to do better. I'm Demetri, your host. This is another Panthers Pretend Draft here on the OG Triangle Media Network. It is all part of This Team Is Killing Us. I am asking you to do me a favor. If my eye doctor can go out of his way to let me know he is watching, you can do the same. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Those three actions on YouTube help more Panthers fans find this content, find our podcast, etc. So, no long preamble today. I'm going to dive right into it. I'm going to do my best to do some different things in this draft, but let's get started with another Panthers Pretend Draft. Obviously, we are sitting tight until 33, unless one of our big, well, there it is, the leap list, one of our big leap list guys starts falling down the board. But look at that. We are not even 15 picks into the draft, and all of our guys are already gone. I might add Brian Thomas Jr. eventually to this leap list. He is, the more I read about him and go back and watch film, the more I like him as like the guy that could potentially 2 or 3 years down the road be the dude from this draft. All right, so here we are at 33. This is falling back way too far. We're not going to take the Chiefs deal. We're not going to take the Bills deal either. I'm going to go with a different receiver this time. A.D. Mitchell out of Texas is a dude I would not think would make it to the second round. Here at 39, let's see. If the Rams would overwhelm us with like 3 picks, maybe? No. Okay, that's okay with me. So A.D. Mitchell is a talent I would not expect to fall down to round 2. A guy that I do think will definitely be there in round 2. I mean, look, we can do all these things we've done over and over again, including Darius Robinson from Mizzou. But if we're looking at an edge, and this is a developmental guy we are taking, understand as a Bama grad, I'm biased here, but I love Chris Braswell. I really do. So I'm going to make a little bit of a leap. I don't think it's a huge one and take him at number 39. And now we've solved our wide receiver and edge rusher needs. And I'm doing that because the more of these mock drafts that I have done, the more clear it becomes to me that we can wait as late as round 4 and probably still get a sitter that can be a right-away guy. And look at what has happened here. In fact, I think, so here's the gamble I'm making. I'm going to take this because I don't think Cedric Van Pran Granger from Georgia is going to be gone by 76. It's a gamble, but I think it's going to pay off. And look at that. There he is. So we could just go ahead and leave the Packers there and take Van Pran Granger. That is a tough name to say, but I like this guy a lot. I like the way Georgia coaches offensive line. I like the way that everything starts with the run block. And, you know, I've said this over and over again on these mocks. We look at Bryce's struggles and we forget that the run game really struggled as well. And that's why they're bulking up the middle of the line. We are going to pass on the Dolphins here because I do want to add a corner before it starts to get down to, oh man, do I do Andrew Phillips or, you know what? Instead of a corner, I think there's going to be someone a little bit later that is worth it. Delmar Glaze is a pretty good tackle. He played on the left side in college. He probably projects out to the right side in the NFL, which is okay. Like, I do think I'm starting to come around to the idea of you got to give Icky a few more, if not an entire year, at least half a year to figure out, can he get things back right? So I'm okay with drafting a potential future right tackle there. And look at this. I told you I thought there'd be someone later worth taking. Kyrie Jackson, pretty good athlete in the secondary for Oregon. Could he also fill that returner role? I don't know. Like he was pretty good on returning picks throughout his career at Oregon. I've said this over and over again. The new return rules are sort of shaping the way I'm acting here in the draft, but I don't know that the Panthers have to leap here. All right, so we have back-to-back picks, which means we can be a little risk-taking, and I'm going to go ahead and take Matt Goncalves, and that way we have two pretty good tackles that come out of this draft. We could go Javon Solomon and add another edge here, or we could just, we'll do what we did on day one. Theo Johnson, very much a classic tight end. He is not going to be Brock Bowers. He's not even really going to be Travis Kelce, where he's just this big-bodied wide receiver. This is a dude that will fight for every yard. And I think that kind of thing is important in the NFL. If you can get a Kelce, if you can get a Bowers, if you can get a Antonio Gates type that is just really a big receiver, awesome. But if you can get those guys that fight for the yards like George Kittle, that's pretty good too. And I think that's the mold that Johnson is in. Let's take a look at what we have so far in this draft. We made that trade back. I really feel good about that gamble. And we got some extra ammunition, which means I don't know that we have to wait till 240. Like, I want to get an impact dude. Again, I'm looking at one of those guys, something in the vein of like a Laviska Shenault. Hopefully would be more successful than Shenault, where he has a receiver's body, but he has a running back's vision. I do have two potential late round receivers that I think of that way. So we'll see. Flourney was not one of them, but him going off the board means we kind of have to act. And there went one of them. Aeneas Smith was the guy that I really wanted there. So let's go ahead and make this move because I see my other one right there. Let's see if we can make a trade with Vegas. We'll offer 1-for-1, and then we'll throw in next year's 7th from Kansas City because that could very well be Mr. Irrelevant. And let's go get Josh Cephas out of UTSA. I think that Texas San Antonio is going to be in a very interesting position this year because between Cephas and their quarterback, who's his name escapes me, but he was the quarterback for 5 years there. Like they might be about to fall off a cliff. I like Cephas a lot as just a general weapon. He is a guy that if he makes a roster, you're probably not going to see on the field more than 12 to 15 snaps a game, but they can utilize him in a lot of creative ways. So that wraps up our draft. Let's take a look at the trades we made real quick. This one, we had 65 and we traded back to pick up 76 and 121. We filled our center and corner needs with the trade with Denver. And then we had the trade in the 7th round where we went up to get Josh Cephas and add a returner / athlete type to this draft. You can kind of see there's a pattern to what we're doing. It's just a matter of what order we go in. I'm trying to do some unique things. We are a week away, a little over a week away from the first night of the NFL draft. So do me a favor, keep coming back. We'll have another mock draft tomorrow. This is another Panthers Pretend Draft. Like, subscribe, leave a comment so more people can find us. This is all part of This Team is Killing Us.